Hello, people. Welcome to episode 6 of the Fat Guys and Friends podcast. This is usually when I would say, joined by my good friend and fellow fat man, Colton Bartholomew. I'm Logan Wenger. But today we are without Colton Bartholomew. He is on vacation to the great state of New York. So instead, I'm joined by good friend Joe Barnes and good brother Eric Wenger. Hi, guys.
How's it going, man?
Oh, hello.
Joe, how about you tell the people a little bit about you to start?
Well, my name is Joe Barnes, obviously. I don't get a cool nickname like most people. I've known Wang since middle school, when I moved to Monroe. And, yeah, that's basically all I am. I know wrestling.
Fantastic. And Eric?
First of all, I didn't know I was a good brother. It's the first time I've ever heard you say that, so that made me feel nice. That was nice. And I've known Logan for about, 19, going on 20 years. It's been a good run. Didn't like him at first, but we've always enjoyed wrestling, so that's the only reason I still talk to him, I guess.
Yeah, I don't like you very much either, but we like wrestling, so we're here.
Right? That's all we need.
So fellas, let's break down Money in the Bank 2016, shall we?
Oh, boy.
We're gonna go over every match. We'll break it down, give some opinions, and we'll go from there, I suppose. First match on the pre-show is the Dudley Boys versus the Lucha Dragons. It seems like a very confusing matchup to me. The Dudleys have really done nothing but job out to other tag teams since they've returned. So I'm assuming that the Lucha Dragons are going to go over in this match.
I'm not 100% sure. I just kind of think that the Dudley Boys would be more of a factor right now if they would have come in and been a force and then started jobbing. Like, let them do something for like 6 months to a year. Let them become dominant in the WWE again, and then let them job out. That's okay. I'm okay with that. But they just brought them in, and they did something cool for a couple, maybe a month or two, 3 maybe, with the New Day, and I think the Wyatts were in there somewhere. But then that's about it. Now they just job out to everybody, which is okay. That's where they are at in their career. But I'm just not sure about the match.
I don't necessarily think they have to do anything, though. They've been around for so long that everybody knows that they're still a solid tag team. They could push them right now, and no one would even notice because they've been good and they've been bad. They don't have to do anything to prove themselves.
It's true. They're so established in the WWE that they can job out and make other teams look strong, and then they can beat other teams, and people are like, "Oh shit, they're still the Dudleys."
Yeah, that's true. I still just think that like WWE's audience is just becoming so casual. Like it's like there's still the hardcores like us, but there's just they're trying to pander to the people who just casually want to pick up a remote and watch some wrestling and watch WWE. So in their eye, they're just, yeah, it's, oh, cool, the Dudleys are back. But then they get to a point where it's just like, oh, they're just losing. That's just what they do. They're just going to lose and lose and lose. And they're going to kind of lose. It's like, yeah, the Dudleys used to be good. They used to be a force. You know?
What are your guys' predictions for the match?
I think the Lucha Dragons will probably win, but I think it'll be a close match. Like, that's not going to be like dominated by either one. But I think the Lucha Dragons will end up winning.
There's no real stipulation for it, right? It's just kind of a match,
nope,
isn't it?
Just
I honestly didn't even know
match.
what was happening until you just said something. So
yeah, I didn't know until I looked on Bleacher Report this morning.
I didn't really even know that. I'm really confused by it. It's taking me off guard. Maybe they did show something on Raw, but I don't remember it. So, yeah, I honestly think that the Dudleys might win this one because the Lucha Dragons haven't really been put in that spot yet. I don't think Vince sees them as going over on the Dudleys yet.
That's true.
Yeah.
I could see either way, but I'm going to go with the Lucha Dragons as well. Next match, we have the Golden Truth versus Breezango. I feel like they could be doing a lot more with Tyler Breeze, but I actually like the pairing of him and Fandango.
I kind of like this feud that they have going on because it gives Fandango and Tyler Breeze TV time. Like they were never really on, and when they were on, they were losing. So now they're in a feud, which, yeah, they're winning matches because it's Goldust and R-Truth, and they're getting distracted by each other, but they're still winning matches. They're giving them confidence, all that stuff. So I think it's a good feud for that.
I
Even though it's most of the feud is just surrounded by Goldust and R-Truth right now, but it's still giving Fandango and Tyler Breeze TV
I
time.
understand that they need to have a comedy element in any division, singles, tag team, women's, whatever. But I just think that if you like, that's obviously what the Golden Truth is. They're basically comedy. There's not much of like a heart wrenching story that you can get behind there for them. You know, there's not much there. Which is granted, that's what Goldust has always kind of done, and that's what R-Truth has morphed into, kind of always doing. But I watched Up Up Down Down. I love it very much. They had Tyler Breeze and Fandango on there together, and it wasn't like forecasted by the WWE. It wasn't like on their TV, so they kind of got to show a little bit more of themselves. And they look like they have really good chemistry. Like they belong together. Like they're kind of like making it work. So I think they can break out of this and be more of like a serious, like just that serious douchey tag team. That's like, we look so good. We're so much better than you that everybody can totally hate. But like right now, it just doesn't make sense to me. I just feel like they should be doing a little bit more seriousness with them. But
You're telling me that they can be more than Tyler Breeze shaving Fandango's back?
I think so. I think they can be. I think they could totally be more than that if they just allow them to be. I think leave comedy stuff because Tyler Breeze and Fandango doesn't get as much credit. As much credit as he deserves. He's a really good wrestler, and we all know how good Tyler Breeze is, and he just kind of got brought up. Had a feud with Dolph Ziggler that could have been way better. If they would have given them more TV time, he would have gotten to show how good of a wrestler he is, but he's just been kind of lost in the fold now. So I hope they do something with him.
You've seen that you can be funny and a good tag team by the New Day, because the New Day has been hilarious for over a year now, and they're still a good tag team.
True.
But I think hopefully this feud is going to run its course, and I think the faces are going to go over in this match. I think the Golden Truth are going to win.
Ooh. Yeah, well, yeah, the way this feud is going, yes, but I don't know. I think Fandango and Tyler Breeze will end up winning.
I do too. Honestly, I could totally see them doing something stupid where it's like R-Truth forgot it was a regular match and he thought it was a last man standing match. He's like, ref, count, and like he gets rolled up or something stupid because that's what he's been doing. He forgets what match he's in and he's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Aren't they done with that now? Doesn't he ever since the Royal Rumble where he thought it was Money in the Bank? Then he stopped doing that.
No, I did. Okay, even though I just kind of talked shit about it, there was one good moment he had where they were doing commentary and he sat down and Byron said something to him and he goes, Coach, I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah.
How you doing, Coach?
That was funny.
I thought that was hilarious. So it works really well in certain places. So he's still kind of doing that confused thing. But I guess they've been doing that for a while now, ever since Lil Jimmy, where he talked to an imaginary child.
People forget that R-Truth was a really good wrestler. Like in TNA, he was
Ron
the TNA champion.
He was like an awesome heel.
When TNA was going strong, he was their champion.
Mm-hmm.
He's been around for a lot longer than people know.
Oh yeah,
dude, he's old.
He's been around forever.
He's 50.
Yeah.
Is he really 50?
Yeah.
I thought it was like
Yes.
mid-late 40s.
No, I thought he was mid-late 40s.
He's 50
I didn't think
years
he was
old.
actually
Wow.
50.
So Eric, what's your pick for the match?
I'm gonna go with Breezango just because I think
It's just fun to say.
yeah it really is. It's just a fun name, Breezango. Like
Francisco. That's fun to say. Next match is Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin. Again.
Again?
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they were done with this,
Oh my
with that submission match, and then all of a sudden now they're back at it
Yeah,
again.
I don't like-
Do they not know what to do with Baron Corbin
I don't like
right
the
now?
fact that
They haven't
Ziggler
win the...
has been Corbin's first feud, and I especially don't like that it's lasted 3 months now.
And it's not really doing anything.
Yeah.
They just keep doing the same stuff over and over again.
Without a title or without like major beef between two guys, there's only so much you can do in a feud. And I feel like they've done just about everything where now they've resorted to just kicking each other in the dick back and forth.
Yeah, they don't. What really upsets me about the whole thing is that like it could have been a really awesome feud if like Dolph Ziggler has morphed into this person that they just throw all their first feuds, put him over on Ziggler because the people like him and they still have hope in him, and that's why they keep liking him. So it would work way better if if they just went away from, because it's expected that like, oh, this guy's new, put him with Dolph Ziggler. This guy just came back, put him with Dolph Ziggler. So if they just kind of changed it up and like gave him something to work with a little more, like I'm trying to think of any babyface. Like maybe Ryback would have worked, but we all know that's probably never going to happen again. But I don't know. I could have seen that, like the big guy and like the lone wolf. I don't know. I just think like the Pretty Boy and Baron Corbin isn't a good story together.
Joe, your thoughts?
It's lasted too long. Like they either need to get a new feud going or they need to freshen it up or something, because it's the same stuff. It's like I said, same stuff over and over again. And not to change the subject at all, but why do they have Miz having the Intercontinental title and him not being on TV anymore? What's the point? They just have a title that cannot be won or lost because he's making a movie now.
Okay. It took me a really long time to understand this, but we all legitimately hate The Miz, right? We all legitimately don't like him. And
I hate The Miz more because Cheeks likes him.
I don't like The Miz because of the way he won the title.
That's a reason. I don't. But like throughout his entire career, he is a really good heel.
He's a
because
perfect
we all
douche.
legitimately hate him.
Yeah,
and he just embraces it. He really is, and this fits his character perfectly. The movie star, like, don't worry, I'll be back soon enough. It just makes me hate him even more. Like, who do you think you are? Just leaving with the IC title, and just not even. I just think like I can see both sides of it, but I kind of do like a little. It does.
Exactly.
It degrades the championship more than anything else, which I don't like, because the IC title used to be such a big deal. But for the sense of the character, I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me all that much.
Well, Joe, I'm going to take control of my podcast again. Who do you pick in the Ziggler-Corbin match?
I'm going to say Corbin just to get the feud over with. Because if
That
Ziggler
is
wins,
my exact reason that I picked Baron Corbin. I want him to finally go over, and I want it to be done.
Yep. That's exactly how I feel about it too. Also, I just feel like he would win regardless because they don't see anything much in Ziggler anymore other than a good hand.
That's fair. Next match is Apollo Crews versus Sheamus. I actually really like how this feud has started.
I like it too.
The only thing that I remember I called you, Logan, when this happened. And you know that backstage segment they did where Sheamus attacked Apollo Crews and says, "You think you're going to take my spot?
Mm-hmm.
You think you're going to..." And it was really good. It was the first time in a long time that I've actually liked Sheamus. But then Apollo Crews fired back with like, he was talking to the Big Show, I think, and he's like, "Man, why does he feel the need to pick on me?" I was like, that's... What?
Yeah.
That's not what wrestlers say. He's picking on me. Why is he doing that, man? Make him stop. Like... That's the only thing, like, right there kind of made me look at this feud a little bit differently just because of that one thing. But overall, I think if they can get away from that and get a little more serious, I'll enjoy it more.
They have made Apollo Crews very, very cookie cutter to start, which I
don't really like that. They should have made him more of a I don't really care about anybody guy. That's what I think they should have did.
Yeah, he should be. I mean, I don't know if this is racist or not to compare him to Bobby Lashley, but he reminds me.
I was just thinking
Bobby
that. Don't
Lashley.
even.
But he just.
This is a PG like podcast, bro.
He looks like Bobby Lashley to me. Does? He's jacked. He's got the bald
build.
head.
Yeah. But is that interracism where that's all we see? Oh, he's a big black guy. Make him Bobby Lashley. Like. You know, but it's so hard to
let's move on before we get the podcast shut down. Who do you pick in the match?
Apollo Crews.
Yeah, Apollo Crews here.
Clearly to get him over.
I'm going to go with Sheamus. I think this feud's going to be brought out a little longer. I think Sheamus is going to go over. And then... But it's not going to be a clean win.
Or Apollo Crews wins and Sheamus just goes berserk and just
destroys him after the match,
or just starts beating up everybody.
Yeah, I could see all that. Next match. Speaking of titles not being defended, we have Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Becky Lynch and Natalya. I don't get why they're doing a Divas tag match and not defending the women's title here. Oh, women's. They're not Divas anymore. That's my bad again.
Well, it's especially when they just said there's this women's revolution. We're gonna change it, and then it was like it was cool to talk about at the time, and now they think people are over it and they can just go back to
Doing exactly
same
what they were
old
doing with the
filler.
women.
Yep.
exactly. It's not like they're not giving them that one-on-one. They need that one-on-one. If they want to do tag team stuff, like okay, if they're gonna stick with this 3-hour Raw, make a women's tag team division. I know that kind of sounds far-fetched a little bit, but like if you really want to have the women seem like a legitimate player, put them on par with the men and give them everything that they have and give them the time they need and the storyline they need. You know what I mean? Just to give them.
I don't know if they need
More substance.
everything that the men have, just because there's not as many women's
There's not
wrestlers.
as many. Yeah.
So I mean,
And
they
a lot of
might
them
be
aren't even
able-
getting used.
Yeah, they
Like
might be able
Paige,
to
you
pull
see
off
her once a month.
a Divas tag team, but I highly doubt it. And then what's next? Are you going to give the Divas a TV title to feud over? I mean, there's only so
Yeah.
when you have more titles, it starts to water down the product.
That's true. I just don't. I think I'm just kind of making excuses for why I just upset that they're not getting behind them like I honestly thought they were going to do. I think when Bailey comes up, that will change, but that's just because I have a huge boner for Bailey and I will love her forever. But
This tag team match seems so boring that I feel like something needs to happen. Like either we're going to have Nikki Bella make her return, or Dana turns on Charlotte, but that seems too soon. So my big prediction for the match is that we're going to see a Becky Lynch heel turn after Dana and Charlotte win.
Ooh. There.
Just because something needs to happen. This match is so
True.
predictable and so boring.
well, I kind of thought that Dana Brooke would turn on Charlotte.
I thought
It
that
already
too,
kinda
but
looked
like I
the
said,
teaser of
it seems too soon.
I think she's going to
Yeah.
mess up during the match, and that's going to cost them the match, just because that's what she's been doing the last couple weeks, is she's been screwing up. So I think that's what's going to happen.
All right, so what are your guys'
do you-
picks for the match?
Natalia and Becky Lynch winning.
Oh, I think Charlotte's gonna win. I think especially in a tag team match, they should protect her
Yeah,
enough to not let.
You can't have your champion lose.
Unless Dana Brooke gets pinned, then it's okay.
But like I said,
on.
Dana is going to mess up. That's what I said.
Okay. Next, we have the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match with New Day versus Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains versus the Club.
Okay, I have two. There's only two teams that I think could win this match, and
Same
that's Enzo and Cass and the Club. I don't think.
exactly what I think,
I
too.
don't think the New Day is
Ooh.
going to walk out of there with the titles still.
I have two teams that I think could win, and they are either the Club or the New Day. I think either the New Day will win, so they can pass London and Kendrick for the longest tag team champs, or the Club will win to get their first big splash into the WWE and get the belts.
I think that either the New Day or Enzo and Cass win, and that they're kind of in this weird hole right now, where Enzo and Cass are almost just as popular as the New Day. And it's kind of like we all want the New Day to remain champions, but Enzo and Cass are really popular too. So I do kind of think if the Club did win, it would be a really good way to shake it up, to kind of get them on some heels, and then maybe let there be like, I don't know do you think that feud would work
What feud?
between Enzo and Cass and New Day?
Yeah, it's so hard
If
to
they
have
did that-
two faces feud.
Yeah, you
Because
can't
what
really have
conflict
that.
do you have?
Well,
'Cause it-
did you watch their segment on Raw? Did you see them?
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was hilarious.
It was
what they were talking
hilarious,
about.
but
you
it's
can
not.
do
That's
that
not
once,
really.
But how can you continually do that?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
you have
true.
to have a heel in there, or some sort of heel. Or I think what's going to happen is New Day is going to lose, and then they kind of spoiled it a couple weeks ago when they came out and Shane and Stephanie were out there and they were talking about them splitting them up for Raw and SmackDown and stuff. So I think they're going to lose, and then that's going to be kind of almost the end, where one of them's going to go to
No.
SmackDown, where one of them's going to go to SmackDown and two of them are going to be on Raw, or vice versa.
Don't you speak those
This
words?
is the
just
saddest
saying.
moment I've ever had on this podcast.
That's just my theory,
I don't
man.
want to think about that.
Why would you? That's booty.
Yeah.
Shame.
Booty.
Shame him.
What do I do with my New Day shirt then? Just light it on fire?
No, I don't know. You still have two of them on one show.
Damn it, Joe. Also, weird side note: are Bootios a real thing yet? Can I buy Bootios and eat them yet? Is that a thing that they've capitalized on?
Have you watched Swerved yet, where they give kids booty juice?
Oh, I loved it. They actually got kids to drink booty juice. Like who does
That's
that?
That's
yucky.
gross.
That's yucky. What was the other booty noodles?
But they had
all of
booty
this sounds
something where
disgusting.
it looked like pieces of poo.
Booty chunks.
it was yucky. But I think the build up to this match has been really good because it can get messy just with a regular Fatal 4-Way, let alone a tag team Fatal 4-Way, where they even have an extra guy with Xavier Woods running around with the New Day.
Can we all just agree that we'll all be upset if the Vaudevillains somehow win that match?
Yes, the Vaudevillains are the one team that cannot walk out with the tag titles.
Yeah.
Eric,
That
are
would
you
be-
cutting yourself in the background, or what's going
No,
on?
there is
Yeah, what is-
weed whacking going right outside my window, and I'm loving every second of it.
Well, we're going to persevere through that. Next match we have is Rusev versus Titus O'Neil for the U.S. title, which is confusing, to say the least.
I kind of like it. It gives Titus something to do. He's been kind of not doing a whole lot in recently, so it gives him something to do. I don't think he's going to win by any means, but gives him something to do. Gives him a feud.
I was so surprised to see this happen almost right after his 60-day suspension for grabbing Vince McMahon. Like how do you reward a guy after you suspend him? It didn't make sense to me.
They should have almost did Jack Swagger instead of O'Neil.
Yeah, but Rusev has beaten up Jack Swagger so many times, and it's been the Bulgarian Brood against the All-American, American.
Yeah,
American.
I don't know. How many times does he say American? Is it 2,
No,
3,
no.
6?
You have heard
Too
me.
many.
You have
Too
heard me
many.
say this before, Logan, and I know you've gave me shit about it before, because I say this about everybody apparently. Titus O'Neil could definitely be a main guy, because
I thought you were going to say the next John Cena, because you call
No,
everybody
no,
the
no,
next
no.
John Cena.
John Cena is the only John Cena.
I will. I texted you this the other day, Logan. I can't remember the last time John Cena's had a bad promo. He always.
Well, we'll get to John
Okay,
Cena.
yeah.
We'll get to
So
John
Titus
Cena
O'Neil,
next.
he is. Look at what he does outside of the ring. He feeds homeless people, just things that look amazing for a publicly traded company. You know, just things he does. He's such a good person outside of the ring, and he represents Susan G. Komen well, a very good partner of the WWE. He could be so important to them, and I think maybe they're starting to see that. But I don't want to say anything bad about Vince McMahon, but let's be honest, there's a reason there hasn't been a black WWE champion yet.
Oh, shit.
It's true. It's totally true. I'm not saying anything about it, but there's definitely a reason. There's a reason there hasn't been. But they try to say The Rock, but he's mainly Samoan. That's the part they really focus on.
Dwayne.
Dwayne.
You're kind of right, but I don't know. Titus could go over, but I don't see it, just because they've just started to establish Rusev's momentum again, where they're billing him as this monster heel.
Yeah, they can't just have him win the title and then lose it in a month.
It's
that
too soon.
wouldn't work.
It's way
Yeah.
too soon. But the way that Rusev did beat down Titus on Raw would lead you to believe that Titus might get over, but I don't see it. I think Rusev walks out champion.
I think it might be. I think he walks out champion. They might continue the feud, maybe, but I don't see Titus winning tomorrow.
Eric?
I don't see Titus winning, but I want him to win.
Fair. Next is the dream match of the
boy.
century, John Cena versus AJ Styles. Bart and I talked about this on a previous podcast, where it's basically just TNA versus WWE. Something we thought
True.
we would never, ever see is finally happening. I like AJ Styles as a heel, but I thought it was too soon to turn him heel. Like, he was just getting established. He's only been in the WWE for 6-ish months, and he's a heel now. Which, I mean, it makes sense if he's going to go up against John Cena.
It's the best time for him to be the heel, though, is when you're going up against the top guy in the
But I think they're using that into the story, too. Because they're kind of saying he's waited all this time, and now that he's finally here, he's just put on this front just to get to this moment, you know? So I feel like if it goes perfectly to say that he's always been this guy. He's always been this heel. And so he's just to get to this moment so he can prove to John Cena how much better he is than him, you know?
Except that he was a face for almost 15
I
years
know,
in TNA.
I know. It's one of the things about wrestling. You have to like, you just have to like, oh, this doesn't make sense. Yeah, but we don't talk about that. Just accept it.
That didn't happen.
Like Katie Vick didn't happen.
Okay.
Man.
I would bet this feud continues until SummerSlam, just because it's so huge. They have to keep running with it. Joe, I know you've heard me say this multiple times, but I think we finally see the debut of Finn Balor in the match. Because it makes sense. Because AJ signed the contract banning the club from the match, and Finn isn't technically in the club yet, and then you can still maintain AJ's heel status with a dirty win, and the club will grow in size. All great things.
Yeah,
for
but
the
you've been
WWE.
saying that for the last 6 months.
But now
so,
it makes perfect sense because they banned Gallows and Anderson. AJ still needs a dirty win to maintain his heel status and to get over John Cena. This has made the most sense.
It makes the most sense, but
for
they
me
just set up the feud for
Shinsuke. But then what you have...
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, Kevin Owens was fighting John Cena last year's Money in the Bank, and he was still NXT
true. I'll
champion.
give you that. It does make perfect sense, but is it the right way to bring up Finn Balor as a heel?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You don't think they're going to capitalize on his?
So what are they going to do?
On his
No, if you don't put Finn Balor, the face of NXT, for the better part of a year, against John Cena, the face of the WWE, for 15 years. Fucking book it, Vince.
But what are they going to do? Have the club versus John Cena? It's always a group versus John Cena, and then he has no help. It's always
and then you
happening.
bring back JTD and Shad, and you
oh
get
my
Crime
god!
Time.
I don't think you meant that, but I would fucking love to see it. I would love that.
What if?
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Yo, 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 yo.
No.
Hey, he's off writing musicals now, so.
I mean, yeah, it's. I mean,
you have a better shot at Shelton
John
Benjamin
Cena
coming back.
Almost whenever you want. Because anybody can team with John Cena.
Look at Survivor Series. Oh, I suppose it's Survivor Series, so they kind of.
Not anybody can team with John Cena. He buries a person or two.
He said that in a promo. I loved when
while.
AJ said that. Guys like you bury guys. I was like, whoa, my god.
Not going to say any names, but someone hasn't been the same since he had a feud, or a storyline, I should say, with John Cena.
Bruh,
but he
John
did
Cena
win
stole
the
Zack Ryder's
Intercontinental
girl.
title at... Yeah, I know. And then he was in a wheelchair getting pushed down Titantrons. It's stupid.
About John Cena is, like, obviously he has buried some people, but the worst one was when he beat the entire Nexus.
Yeah, that really derailed the whole.
You can't
Nexus
have
storyline.
one guy. You can't portray him as
He needs at least two other people when he goes against the club. Unless what they do is gonna just completely take away what I said earlier. But they have the club win the tag team titles, and then it'll be the club, all of them guys, and then John Cena, and then the New Day will help John Cena, just so that rivalry is still going. So it's 4-on-4 if we're gonna go with your theory, Wayne.
That's true. I don't know. What are your predictions? Like I said, I see AJ getting a dirty win and going over Cena.
I see AJ. AJ has to win one of these matches. He keeps losing every pay-per-view.
He hasn't won on a pay-per-view since Fastlane.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so he needs to win on a pay-per-view. So I think he
I think he
wins.
gets the dirty win over Cena.
Yep. Next is the Money in the Bank ladder match with Chris Jericho versus Cesaro versus Sami Zayn versus Alberto Del Rio versus Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens. This is probably the first, or at least the only, Money in the Bank match that I can remember where I won't be mad. Whoever
Except
wins,
for Alberto
Jericho
Del Rio.
would be cool because he made the match. Cesaro has more than earned a run with the briefcase. Sammy is the cool underdog type character right now. Del Rio's done it before, so I would be a little upset, but not overly mad about it. Ambrose showed why he can do it on Raw, but my pick is the best guy in the WWE roster right now,
Yep.
Kevin Owens.
Oh my
It's-
god.
He's the best worker in the company.
Okay.
He's one of the best guys on the mic. He is such a great heel, and heels are the best.
Okay,
with the briefcase.
I love Kevin Owens too. I totally agree with you. Best worker in the company. You got AJ Styles there. You got Seth Rollins there. You have Finn Balor in the company. Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't think he's definitely up there. I don't think he's the best worker in the company right now.
Your opinions are stupid, and you don't matter.
I just don't. I think Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is probably the best worker in the company right now.
Okay, regardless, what do you think about the match?
I think Dean Ambrose is going to win, just solely because they'll have that Shield aspect of the championship where they'll have Rollins and Reigns jabbering whoever wins that match, but then in the back of your head you still got Ambrose running around with the briefcase.
I like that idea, but on Raw they made it too predictable.
Yeah, that's true.
I would like to see Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens would be an amazing, it fits his character.
But I think with that though, I think they're just gonna keep pushing this Sami Zayn Kevin Owens thing, and they're gonna fuck each other up in this match somehow. One of them's gonna screw something up for the other one, and then they're just gonna fight off to the side or just be fighting each other the entire time.
That's a possibility.
Yeah,
I could see that.
I could see that too. If Cesaro gets it, I'll be really surprised because I think.
But have you noticed with the Cesaro and Sami Zayn thing, it's kind of pushing towards one of them kind of screwing the other one over, just seeing how they've been put with each other and against each other on Raw and SmackDown the last couple weeks.
Yeah, Cesaro's been a heel in the past, and he's done a pretty good job at being a heel. But I think he's so over as a face right now, you can't turn him.
Both
heel.
of them are pretty over as faces.
There's
that you can,
no way you can turn Sami Zayn heel, especially right now.
Right.
I
don't know. It just seems like they're pushing them too much together for nothing to happen.
Honestly, I think
Yeah.
Sammy as a character is kind of. I'm not comparing him to this person in an entirety, but Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was basically always a babyface. And I think Sami Zayn kind of fits that. I think he just works better as a babyface. I'm not saying he doesn't have it in him to be a heel.
I don't think he'd work as a heel.
He just comes off as a nice guy and is like a babyface, like a good, just a good just a good person, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I have Kevin Owens. Joe has Dean Ambrose. Eric, who are you going
I'm going to
with?
go with Kevin Owens.
And then, do you think they will add a seventh man to the Money in the Bank?
I don't know who it would be because they're making it. If they did, they're making it seem like it'd be a big deal. Because why would you wait this long to put him in there?
If true, you're just not going to throw
Exactly.
some random person in there. You'd have to make it
The
somebody.
only one that makes sense is Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt. Yeah.
There's no other person you can randomly toss into that match that would make any
Is there
sort of
anybody
sense.
that just all of a sudden has not been around for a while and could come back like, holy shit?
There is somebody, but it's not likely, which is Kurt Angle. I need to stop talking about it. I want him back
my
so
God.
bad.
It could possibly be Bill Goldberg. Maybe Sting.
CM Punk's gonna come back. I
Potentially
heard a rumor
Undertaker.
that CM Punk's coming
I
back.
could see Rikishi.
Corporate Kane.
Maybe Scotty Too Hottie.
Grandmaster
Sky Too
Sensei.
Hottie.
Oh no, his dad just got into some trouble.
I heard it might be. I heard it might be Chris Benoit. So
We're
fingers
not,
crossed on that.
Stop it. Okay. WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. First time in a long time I've been excited about a Roman Reigns match, and it has nothing to do with Roman Reigns.
Because
being
he's
in
the
match.
guy.
Oh
No,
my
he's the guy.
God. They just need to get away from
Stop
that.
it.
Seth, honestly,
That makes me when I hear somebody called the guy, I get furious.
Yep.
It's so stupid.
You know, I'm just gonna do this the entire podcast. I'm just going to disagree with everything you say during this match and say Roman Reigns is gonna win, just because I know both of you want Seth
Sure.
Rollins to win the match.
He actually has a chance to lose for the first time.
Yes.
I mean, with AJ, you thought there maybe, but it was a long shot. But Rollins has a legit shot of beating him because it makes sense. Rollins never lost his title, so why not put it back on him? And that's my pick. I'm going with Rollins to reclaim the title that he never lost and walk out of Money in the Bank, the new WWE
It
World
has to be a
Heavyweight
dirty
Champion.
finish.
Maybe walk out, because there's going to be someone holding the briefcase, so they might steal it.
You
from
think
him
you
at
think
the
they're going to
end.
cash in the same night?
I think
They might. It
it's a good
depends on
way-
who wins.
It's a good way
Yeah.
for the match, because if you have Seth Rollins win right away, I would love to see that, but I just don't think they want that to happen. I don't think they just want him. So that's why I think they have to do a dirty finish, where if Seth Rollins wins, which I'm
Yeah.
okay with them going forward with that. But then it would be interesting to have Roman Reigns win and then have a cash-in happen immediately. That would also be really cool, because it kind of sets it apart that you kind of get away from that. Oh, is Seth Rollins better than Roman Reigns? Is Roman Reigns better than Seth Rollins? Because they both want them to be seen as top guys. So if you just have that happen, then a cash-in, it kind of takes the pressure off them to try to have to deal with that right now.
They've only had a cash in the same night once, though, and I think it was Kane on
Yep,
Rey
I'm
Mysterio.
pretty sure. 2010, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
was,
it's highly unlikely.
It
I
was
think they'll have
cool,
someone
but-
walk around with the briefcase.
yeah, it's
for a
cooler
long
to
time.
see somebody with the briefcase for a long time and always think, when is it going to be? Is it going to be now?
And then have them like tease, come
The
out with
fake
their
cash-ins are
music, and then
almost better
walks
than the
out with the
cash-ins.
briefcase, and then yeah.
But Joe, what was your pick? Are you still going with Roman Reigns?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Roman Reigns.
Is that because you think
Just to
Roman
have the
Reigns is going to
feud.
win, or because you're a douchebag?
Probably 60-40. I'm a douchebag. But I think they should have him win, just so I guess the feud will keep going either way. But I think the way they want to make him the guy, basically, that they have to have him beat Seth in order for it to be legitimate.
That's true. I won't be surprised if Roman won. I won't be surprised if Seth wins. But I'm hoping Seth wins.
That's exactly how I'm really hoping Seth wins. But if I honestly think Roman will win, I really want Seth to win. But I just think they're just going to go with Roman, because they've been shoving him down our throats for so long now. Why would they stop now?
True. I know they've been billing this as like a WrestleMania capable card, but I'm actually really excited for Money in the Bank.
I don't
And
like
I'm-
that they're doing that. I don't like that.
It's
It's
true.
a WrestleMania sized event, because that kind of takes away the excitement of WrestleMania. Does that? I feel like it just
Yeah,
yeah.
I get what you
'cause
mean.
Don't compare everything to
Yeah.
WrestleMania just because WrestleMania is so awesome. WrestleMania is so awesome because it's WrestleMania.
That's true.
True.
But it should be a lot of fun to watch tomorrow night. Thank you, fellas, for joining me and breaking down this when my big co-host wasn't able to come on.
Yeah, well, it's his loss because we were kind of better. We're just throwing that out there. It was
That's fair. You can believe whatever you want. We can be found on Facebook at Fat Guys and Friends. We can be found on the Twitter machine at Fat Guys, capital N as in Nancy, Friends. You can email us at fatguysandfriends@gmail.com. And you can also comment your selections, as we did, on this Facebook video or on the YouTubes. Thanks, guys.
yeah.
Woo woo, you know it.
Oh God.